Hello and welcome to my video on the top things I believe make a good Horde base. Every Horde base needs numerous attributes in order to be a success, and in this video I'm going to highlight what I think are the most important attributes, in no particular numerical order. Without further ado, let's get started. The first one is having set access points. Knowing where zombies will come in from is imperative to your success. Predicting zombie movement as well as having consistency in zombie movement is incredibly important in a Horde base. If you can either predict or are certain of where the zombies will come at you from, you have a big advantage. This goes down to the nitty-gritty details too. Check out these walls here. See, these walls I actually put in myself, and the reason why is because zombies kept going around the other side and trying to bash through the walls over there. This creates a flow of traffic, which is very, very important. Maintaining a good flow of traffic and ensuring you aren't overwhelmed or swarmed from unpredictable angles is the reason why you want to have these access points. Now, I specifically have both this front door as well as a back door just over here. The worst thing that can happen on Horde night is for zombies to break in from an angle that you don't want them to, so they start tunneling in or breaking blocks. And that's actually where the next point comes in. Having a zombie barricade, or otherwise having a perimeter wall or preventative structure, such as this right here. Every base needs a wall, and every Horde base within a base will benefit from a wall. It's dead simple. A wall keeps you in and zombies out. Having a wall up around your base means that zombies will only be able to access you from access points that you set up, as long as they're unable to scale the wall or break the wall. Which is why it's also very important to have the next step, a good moat. Even in medieval times, moats were used as a preliminary line of defense, and without water, they're still quite useful in 7 Days to Die. You see, the point of the moat is not to trap the zombies within, but instead to utilize the zombie AI to allow for a more successful perimeter wall, and to specifically keep them away and path them around the access points. So here's how this works. The moat will direct the traffic because zombies constantly try to avoid it. And because the zombies see this wall as something that they cannot break easily, they'll instead go to what they consider to be a very easy way to get to me, which is the wide open front door. This is very important. Now, to an uninformed player, a moat may seem unnecessary, but in reality, they are actually the crutch that holds this base up. And I'll tell you why. You see, before I had a moat, I had a Horde base just like this one. It was in its early stages, and the problem was that zombies walk up to and broke several walls, including this one right here, which I eventually patched up. Now, why that's a bad thing? Well, first off, I couldn't predict these zombies entering the compound, so reacting in time to them was difficult, and at one point almost deadly. Secondly, zombies entering from different locations is simply not what you want. It's absolutely not what you want at all, and they cause a lot of damage when they enter from incorrect locations. Let me try to find the other hole in the wall. This one right here. This was another one that they broke in from. You don't want this. It means that the zombies are going to come at you in different ways that you can't expect, and that's just bad. And it got so bad that a few of the zombies that broke in from that wall over there ended up causing a lot of damage to the staircase, because zombie AI is really stupid in this game. You see, if they see a staircase but they arrive at it from the backside, they just get pissed off and start breaking it, instead of actually just going over to the staircase. And that's what happened a lot with the zombies that busted in from other places, which is why a moat is very good at protecting you from that, and why a wall is the best at protecting you from that. Okay, now, all those situations could have been prevented if I could have just bought myself some time to patch up the walls, which leads into my next point. A good Horde base needs a way to buy yourself some time. All good things must come to an end at some point, and every gun, even an M60 with a drum mag, will eventually need to be reloaded. In your most vulnerable moments, buying yourself time is incredibly important. You have to think, when I'm reloading, where can I stay safe? And one of the ways I buy myself time is with a sledge turret, right here. If you don't already have one of these in your Horde base, get one and use it. It's a lifesaver. Having fallback points is also a great way to maintain security and buy yourself some time. So I was using full blocks as stairs instead of actual stair blocks. Now with my current setup, if and when zombies make it to the top of the stairs, and then to my fighting position, they are immediately catapulted off into my next topic of discussion. A good Horde base has a pit, or a height drop. but also a well-maintained flow of traffic within it. You see, when zombies fall down the pit, as long as they have a clear way out of the pit, such as right here, they tend to just immediately leave. Or sometimes they'll smack a few things and then leave. That's really important, because they need to be able to path back to you and get to you easily. See, in the case of my pit, it perfectly meshes with my philosophy of access points and buying time. When the zombie falls into the pit, they act as all the others do when they enter from the back door. They run up the ramp, around each corner, back to the staircase, and then hop up each step to reach me again. The zombies tend to not bother breaking shit in the pit because they have a clear way to get back to me in a flow of traffic to try again. Now, the reason for having a height drop is very clear. Zombies falling from heights great enough will take damage, and any damage is good damage. It should be noted that the maximum amount of damage a zombie can take from falling is only a third of their health at a time, and the returns diminish quite quickly. Really, the final purpose of a pit is to buy yourself time. A zombie in the pit is of no immediate threat to you, and you can relinquish your focus from it and redirect yourself to the other dangers ahead. My sledge turret knocks down every zombie that I don't already kill and puts them down in the pit, where they then can take up to a minute to arrive back at the stairs. A minute can be ages in this game when seconds count and decisions must be made quickly. Now, what if the zombie doesn't get hit by the sledge turret? Well, that's where the next point comes into play. You need to create and maintain a fighting position. Now, this is an example of a fighting position. This is the first one I made. But I also made this one. A fighting position can be very, very small, only a few blocks. It doesn't matter about the size, what matters is the effectiveness. So, as you can see here, this is quite simple. All this is a way for me to melee zombies, but not to get hit, or allow them through, and a way to shoot zombies through these security gates, but not have them damage me back, and not have me damage the structure itself. Now, most zombies get knocked off because of the sledge turret, but if, say, it wasn't there, this position would still be excellent for holding off the Horde, even if only for a time. Having several positions like this is very useful. Simply put, having a backup never hurts. Now, one thing that is very important to consider is my next and final point. You need to use appropriate blocks for the base. One must carefully consider the blocks used to create the Horde base, as it dramatically impacts the effectiveness of the base. At my fighting position here, you can see I use the new security gate blocks, and to be honest, these blocks are overpowered. But not necessarily when used like this for a fighting position. Instead, when used as a walkway, they are the most overpowered and even unfair to zombies. Zombies can and will use this thin gate as a walkway to reach the player. However, they have a very, very hard time actually reaching you and staying on the gate. And they have an even harder time when several zombies try to stack up on top of each other. And they have the hardest time when my sledge turret keeps knocking them off every time they try to do so. Now, at the end of each Horde night, I always survey the damage dealt to my blocks. And consistently, this block right here has some of the least damage of any of my blocks. It's crazy. This thing's got 5,000 hit points and it usually only takes a few hundred damage. It would take an eternity for zombies to successfully break through this position. But, let me demonstrate right here. See how the zombies immediately broke through? That's good. I specifically want that. Because now the zombies are going to path exactly where I want them to. Now, cop spit is always going to be an issue. You know, you can only do so much for cop spit. But this is the base in action. Let me get a good vantage point. So you can see they hop up the stairs. They take their sweet time doing so. That buys me time if I need it. Then they get to the top here and they get knocked off. One by one, they either fall off from their own stupidity, knock each other off, or the sledge turret does it for me. It's really useful. Now, sometimes they don't fall into the pit, and that's okay. They don't all have to fall into the pit for it still to be useful. So, all in all, you can see this Horde base working. Excuse me while I shoot these zombies. The plan is quite simple, and it works every single time. I haven't had a single issue with this. This is, I would honestly call this probably the most overpowered Horde-based design I've ever concocted. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do anything exactly like it. Alright, well, With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you think I should do any more. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a great day.